What if your world sounded like this instead of this? What if you could only hear this and not this?
If you don't hear, you cannot communicate with your families. You may not be able to get a job. Hearing loss, people often don't realize how isolating hearing loss can be. And the effect is the same no matter where you are. It is so important to bring hearing help to these remote locations because hearing loss cuts people off from their communities.
If you can't hear, you're not going to get those promotions at work. You're not going to hear the question right in class and answer it right. You know, you're not even going to hear your family, and people get irritated when you can't hear them.
There's so many people that have hearing issues, and hearing is so important in our lives. And oftentimes, because it's so easily understandable, we focus on the children. Because a child that's not hearing right really loses the opportunity for their future.
According to the World Health Organization, over 5% of the world's population suffers from a disabling hearing loss. That's 360 million people. That's more than the entire population of the United States. Millions of them are children.
Do every day helping people hear better, unleashing their potential. It's really rewarding.
Nora Stewart is one of the founders of Entheos Hearing Cooperative, a group of audiologists and hearing care specialists. She's been on 14 mission trips, and her personal story reflects why this team does what it does.
I really began to feel just worn out a little bit, and it wasn't as joyful going to work every day, and I needed to refresh myself, and I heard about an opportunity to go on an international mission trip for hearing.
Okay, she's gonna have to go to wax.
And it was one little girl in a seemingly tense situation that hooked her for life.
And I start to put the hearing aid on this little girl's ear, and all of a sudden the mom starts speaking. And to me it's speaking very fast and with a lot of emotion. And I don't know what she's saying. The mom doesn't know why she's here because her daughter can't hear. She's deaf. She'll never be able to hear. And just at that moment, I was rolling the volume control up on the hearing aid, and all of a sudden this little girl, because the translator is talking, hears it and looks over and just gets this smile on her face. And it was half smile, but also half amazed. And all of a sudden the mom stopped talking and just broke out crying. So then the girl's crying and I'm crying, and that's how I started this journey. And I thought, wow, if every day could be like this, I'm in.
Hearing professionals from Entheos have helped thousands of people.
You won't have to ask people, huh? What did you say?
Have fitted hundreds of hearing aids and have gone on more than a dozen mission trips, including Zambia, Haiti, Guatemala, and Jordan.
We also went to a Syrian camp, and that was the hardest thing for me. It was right next to the border, and I actually was a little bit afraid, which I had never been afraid before.
Jane Baxter is an audiologist from Menlo Park, California. This is her 5th mission trip, but it was her first trip to Jordan and the Syrian refugee camps that surprised her.
Nice job.
I think I expected the camps to be more camps with tents, and they're actually small villages, small cities, very urban, so that surprised me.
According to Amnesty International, Jordan hosts more than 635,000 refugees from Syria. On this trip alone, the team treated hundreds of people and fit more than 100 hearing aids, and for some, it's an extra special moment.
Sit down.
7-year-old Cedra never heard a sound until this day.
Hello? Huh?
When she first heard her mother's voice. It's a moment that was priceless for everyone, especially her mother.
It was a great feeling, and she is so happy when she see her daughter was listening and hearing much better.
As a mother, I look at these mothers and fathers who are bringing their children in, who want the best for them, and so I'm struck by the lengths these parents will go to get their children the help they need.
Rawan? Rawan?
very sad, because, you know, I hate to see people deprived of the opportunity to live up to their potential.
Steve Beck is a volunteer, also from California. He knows this is just the first step for parents.
I think they don't quite know what they have in store. They may be thinking that now that their kid can hear, everything's going to be okay. But it's not, because they have missed so much of the language development.
But in a country like Jordan, or thousands of miles away in Zambia, the problems are the same. People face the same difficulties.
We have regular checkups for our children, and so their ears get cleaned periodically. But by impacted earwax, it's all the way down to the eardrum, and you've got nerve endings that are very sensitive near the eardrum, so it's very painful. And I'm just wondering how a child can put up with that, and yet they don't know the difference.
Lots of wax.
Well, it's great to relieve the pain. And some of the other kids, yeah, they've got holes in their eardrums or no eardrums. And I just think of, you know, my daughter had ear infections and she was screaming. We took her to the emergency room, the pain was so bad. And I think of these children not getting any health care or treatment for this.
You know, I've been doing a lot of earwax cleaning today and pulling out big plugs out of ears that is now they're able to hear a lot better. So even that experience, not just the people that have permanent hearing loss, makes a huge difference.
We saw this little girl when we were in Guatemala earlier this year. She was 11 years old. She had a bead in her ear that had been in there since she was a little tiny toddler. She used to complain of her ear hurting every night when she went to bed. And it was just a little plastic bead that we got out, which had been in there for 9 years. Isn't that crazy? Oh, hard to imagine. That would never happen in the United States.
What frustrates team members is when hearing loss could have been avoided.
One of the most emotional experiences that I've had here. So I had another little boy, he was about 9 years old. So he had normal hearing up until about a year ago, and he had meningitis, which he survived, but now he's left with profound hearing loss. It broke my heart when I tested his hearing, because this is a disease that we don't see many children in the United States anymore who've lost their hearing to meningitis.
The days are long and difficult, full of energy-draining lows, and then like a roller coaster, emotional highs. And it all starts the moment you arrive to set up a makeshift clinic. The first stop was a school to check hundreds of kids.
Well, there were a lot of people waiting. So my eyes were big, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people to see. But you know, you just dig in and you do what you can, and every person that you help just makes you get going.
Mary Thorpe took time away from her practice in Sarasota, Florida, to help strangers halfway around the world.
She's gonna fail. People are people wherever you go. These people here are no different than you or me, and you know, they deserve the same kind of care that we can receive.
The team has the process down to a science, but to an outsider or someone new to a mission trip, it's been called controlled chaos.
There's been a little bit of stress and chaos, one could say, because there'll just be mobs of kids, lines of people. But what you sort of get the sense from that is that these people are so excited to have someone here, and I've never seen someone so excited to get their ears checked.
Emma Doherty is a volunteer on her first trip to Zambia. These trips would not be possible without people helping to guide and track those in need.
Day one, when we had just swarms of kids everywhere, I didn't know how we were ever going to do it. And that actually has been true of every single day. Every single day when we show up somewhere, I think, how are we ever going to see all these people that are already waiting in line? How are we ever going to work in this facility that we have? Because every day it's different. And so you get used to what you had the day before. And then when you get to the new place, it's like, how are we going to make this work?
The team often faces problems they wouldn't face back home in places such as Lancaster, Pennsylvania, says Dr. Kamal Elliott.
We do have many challenges when we come here to do these clinics. For example, in Zambia, most of the places we went to didn't have electricity for part of the day. A lot of our equipment needs power. So somebody found a generator and that stopped working.
Without power, it slows down the process and the number of people the team can help. The cord to start the generator broke. After 30 minutes of trying, the no-quit attitude led the photographer to use his nylon camera strap to get the power back on.
When you see third world problems, it really puts our first world problems into perspective.
The team continued to see person after person.
Being able to manage the number of people we see is really difficult. There's only a few of us, and there's so many people that come to see us. They walk for miles and miles. Some of them ride buses for hours to get to us. And our goal is always to try to help everybody, but the days can get really long and really exhausting.
It's good? Can you hear?
It's important to help every child they can, so they get a chance to learn and grow.
You know, hearing is connected to education. They go together. So if someone is having problems with their ears, how are they going to learn?
Matrina Mumba is the project manager for Fountain of Life, a group promoting healthcare and education in Zambia by building clinics and schools.
People do not have access to health care, not to mention ear care. I don't even think any of them have ever been to a checkup or to an audiologist. They've never. That's why you'd see most of the kids or even adults, they'll go in there and so surprised, oh, what are they going to do to me? You know, they don't have that access here in Zambia. So for these people coming here, taking their time out, it's really an amazing thing.
Okay, good job. Then you just stay right there, okay?
Fountain of Life partnered with Entheos to bring the team to the Chibambo district, a rural area outside the capital city of Lusaka.
It's a project that really is one of its kind.
Princess Kasune Zulu is the founder of Fountain of Life and grew up in this area. She knows the hardship and difficulties her people face.
I came here when I was young, when I was in 5th grade, up to about when I was in 10th grade.
Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free.
On the site where the team held a hearing clinic, they got to experience another major event, the dedication of a new maternity clinic.
So important. I think statistics has it that if the mothers, the expecting mothers have really access to a better health facility, you can have the infant rate almost into half. And you know that here in Zambia, especially in rural Zambia, one of the highest deaths among children below the age of 5 is infant mortality.
Hundreds of people showed up for the ceremony, including the tribal chief.
So really, we are going to see a lot of babies being born healthy. We are going to see that a lot of mothers are going to opt to come to the clinic, not giving birth at home. And if those who have complications, they are likely to be more taken care of versus maybe dying. So this is not just an advantage for the children, it's also an advantage for the mothers. And some of it is lack of proper infrastructure, proper equipment that can save the mother, but also their unborn or their newborn baby. And so we believe that by having this Chibambo maternity clinic, we are going to tackle the deaths for the mothers who are expecting, but also to prevent infant mortality.
The group turned the clinic over to the government with an understanding to medically support the clinic in hopes it will be an example in Zambia.
So I know that in future, the impact will be felt under this health facility, because we'll be seeing a lot of women surviving. The women will not be dying because they will be coming to this facility to give birth. They will be attracted, they will be encouraged, and I know that they are excited. This structure will speak for itself.
Right now, there is no medical doctor here. There's only a clinician, and I think about less than 5 nurses. For a population of almost 21,000, that's a big number. So I am very much aware of the needs here. The clinic we had no running water. It didn't have electricity, and there was just no better beds, even things we take for granted. And to know that these things are going to be here, it makes a great difference. So it's a humbling feeling, it's a great feeling, and we are excited that we have this opportunity.
New clinics like these can even help the people who work in places like this to help others. A clinician's hearing aid was not working, so he could not hear his patients very well.
Definitely is very, very much important, because this gadget, my work was very difficult. But as it pay now, the job will be very easy. I'll be able to communicate with my clients very well.
He says he was afraid he would miss something important, but he also learned how to help others in the same situation.
I've been given some instructions how to help others. So they'll be coming back to the center so that I'll be able to make some sort of like service, some sort of helping them when the gadgets, the hearing gadget stops working. That is very difficult to describe this happiness which I've got today.
And he is not the only one. Entheos wants to create long-term solutions in these countries.
Yes!
So they not only train medical personnel, but volunteers.
I do a number of other things like just being with the team, helping them to know some places, helping them to know the people around, and also trying to make them understand the culture of Zambia.
Meet Samuel Fundiwa, better known as Sammy, one of those volunteers helping Entheos.
It makes me feel very, very excited. I would say I'm very grateful for this team, because these people that are here, one of the challenges that I've just come to realize is that they do not know that they have a problem in terms of hearing, or they want to explain something to the doctors or to the audiologists. I'm there to stand with them and help them. So I come down to their level and bring them to the level where you guys want them to know and to do.
Sammy wants to make sure he is there to help Zambians get the help they need.
I'm all right now.
You're all right now?
Yes, I'm all right now.
If I'm going to have an opportunity to come to America, I'll just come to America just to come and get education, come and learn, then come back to Zambia and come and be able to give a service to the people like you are doing yourselves.
So Sammy decided to step up and learn how to do testing and plans to do more.
Got it!
It's because I really want to help the people that are underprivileged, the people that do not have anything, the people that think they cannot be anything in this nation, and just lift them to a level where they can understand that they're also human beings and they can also be able to do something. So when I see you guys coming to Africa, you really strike my heart and say, hey, if you can come and help us, why can't we also stand and begin to help ourselves?
He, along with Entheos, hope this will allow them to sustain hearing health in these places.
I'm seeing faces that I recognize now. People are remembering me, which is amazing. You know how you feel like a grain of sand, and you come here and people are like, yes, I know you, you're back, you know.
So I saw an advert, and then that's why I made it to come back, because it helped me once. That's why I had an effort to come back again for.
David has been doing well at the university, but he knows the hearing aids can help him do better.
It has been helping me on hearing in class, because I had some problems with my left eye on hearing. So when I got those, it helped me a lot. I'm feeling very much louder and very comfortable, because I can even get something from afar.
With these places sometimes being remote, that's not the only type of isolation. Hearing loss can lead to people isolating themselves for safety reasons.
When you don't hear well out of either one or both ears, it becomes a huge safety issue. You can't always hear cars coming. If you have a smoke alarm or other kinds of alarms going off, a lot of times people can't hear them if they have a hearing loss.
And these people would go on living their lives in isolation. They would be really cut off.
The team tries to bring these people back into their communities and help as many people as they can. And sometimes it does more than that. The team thought these two men were friends. What really happened was they met at the clinic, and the one used sign language to connect him with the team. And in the end, both were helped. But that's not the case for everyone.
The hardest part of these trips is leaving knowing we haven't helped everybody.
What the team does not have on their side is time. But even with that pressure, they will not sacrifice quality.
They won't speed up at all if they're going to give the same care to these patients as they give back home, and that is not typical.
You know, we only have so much time here. We run out of time, and we know we're not seeing as many people as we want to. We try to fit in. We work long hours. Everybody moves very quickly, and I think that it's hard to leave and know that there's still people that need our help.
They're not about to leave anybody behind. If there's one more thing they can do for that patient, they don't care what time it is or what dark roads we have to travel to get back. They're going to stay here and take care of that patient.
But even that can't be helped.
We packed up and were leaving one clinic. We were already an hour and a half late for our second clinic that we knew people were lined up around the building for. And as we were pulling away, the mother was literally chasing our car, begging us to come back to see her boy.
And that is why the Entheos team promises the people they will be back again and again, hoping to make people's lives better.
I'm really, really grateful I get to do this work. It's very meaningful and makes me really feel like I'm fortunate that I am able to help other people.
It is almost impossible to convey what it means to give the gift of hearing.
So we saw this adorable little 3-year-old the other day. I don't think she has any speech and language because she doesn't hear well. She has a severe hearing loss.
The father of this little girl thought his daughter was deaf and mute. After testing, they found she had a small amount of hearing, so they fitted her with 2 hearing aids. And what happened next was a moment no one will ever forget.
It was just incredible. I got her smiling. I was able to test her, get all the information I needed to adjust her hearing aids to be just right for her. Look, Mama.
Yay! She spoke for the very first time. She was able to copy sounds she heard.
And after she said mama, there was this look of surprise in her face because I don't think she's heard her voice that way. And she just started smiling and kind of curled up, and you know, we both sort of hugged and giggled. It was just amazing.
Me. Ma, me. That was kind of a close one. Yay!
Her father himself was almost speechless.
So he says, according to what he's seen, there is hope that the daughter will be able to speak. So he's very grateful for what has happened.
These trips not only bring hope to the people, they help give purpose to volunteers' lives.
I go back a different person each time I do this, and it really helps me to realize what I'm doing is the right thing, and I enjoy it. It brings back joy. Everyone should experience doing something like this and helping others in another country, because it just rejuvenates what you are and what you do.
It never stops amazing me, and it's very touching emotionally. And I mean, my last patient today, just an old man who had quinine and hasn't heard and has very little hearing, and just the hope of him being able to hear, he's so excited. He's the one that started dancing. And it was just really thrilling to see people, to improve their quality of life.
And it's those moments that keep people in the group returning over and over and over again.
You're very happy now? Yes. I'm understanding. You are talking everything. I'm understanding.
Oh, good. My mom fed a patient with hearing aids, and his smile was so big when he was done, and he could hear, and he was so grateful and shaking her hand, and it was just incredible to see the hearing smile on his face.
I think one moment on this trip that really stands out the most is I had an older gentleman who was so patiently waiting almost all afternoon, waiting for the ear mold.
Can you hear? It's okay?
Or waiting for the hearing test, waiting for the ear mold, and then I was finally able to fit him with a hearing aid, and he had the biggest smile. His smile was, you know, all ear to ear up here, and he said, "Thank you so much," and you know, "May peace be with you on your journey home." And you know, he just warmed my heart. It just makes it all worthwhile.
For me personally, I think once you've seen a hearing smile on a trip like this, you just get hooked. I like the smile I see.
Thank you very much.
And I just don't think I can keep myself from coming back on these trips. I enjoy them so much. I love interacting with the people. I love the work that we're doing. I love the group that I'm with. So I can't see myself not doing this in the future. I have to keep coming back.
Mama. Mama.
Shh. Dedicated to helping people realize their potential together by giving the gift of hearing.
We don't see ourselves as the heroes, we see ourselves as the people that can come. We see the patients that we're serving as the heroes and give them the opportunity to become the hero in their own community so they can be lifted up, where they can start making the difference because we've just come alongside of them.
Look around across the room. Friends are laughing, but my loneliness consumes. Afraid to talk, afraid to move, missing out on simple things I'm meant to do. If only I could join the dance, to feel a part of life and finally have a chance to capture every moment and hear the world surrounding me, bringing us together to go from me and you to we. Finally I can hear the music, finally I belong to the world that I've been missing, and now I hear what matters most to me. Finally I can hear the music, I can now go on with the dreams that were fading. My life was given back to me. Sharing stories with friends at home, now connected when I used to feel alone. The laughs are loud